This is the definitive guide for Final Fantasy 9. In this bit we're going to do the overly emotional and Bloodlust trophies because I think this is the most efficient part of the game to do the Bloodlust. There's other places and there is downsides to doing it here as well because you do sort of get levelled up to about level 28 or so. By the time you've done the 24 hours of full-on killing things in the forest. But it's efficient because you don't have to move, you don't have to put an elastic band around the controller, and the only sort of downside to it is that you do have to have on the fight assistance, battle assistance thing on, which probably put another 4 seconds onto each fight with the animation of trance, and that's where you're going to get the over emotional trophy, which is going into trance 50 times, because you'll probably go into trance about a gazillion times. So I'm just sort of showing you where the treasure is and the sort of start of some of the ATEs, some of the boss steals as well. So while I'm chatting away you can have a look at that. The ATEs start here, but they're not hard to miss, but I've put them all in, not the whole of them but just the beginning of them, so you can see which ones that you should have by the time that you leave this part of the game. So the Bloodlust trophy, I downloaded 3 bits of software, which is the PlayStation remote onto a laptop, AUTOHOTKEY and sciteAUTOHOTKEY, and there's a bit of script from Septomor. Also, all these links are in the description, and how to do it is in the description. And that bit of script just basically presses the X button for you. So I've just set everything up, put the script into sciteAUTOHOTKEY, save that to the desktop. You can double click on that, open up your remote play, put on your pause menu, super speed, damage 9999, and battle assistance, and right trigger for auto play in the battle. Once you've got all that set up, you press T to start the loop, and T to start the program, the script rather, and then A to start the loop, and just leave it for 24 hours and you'll get the Bloodlust trophy that way. I do believe that you cannot save when you're doing it, because I put about 60 hours of grind into the first time I played this, and the trophy just didn't pop, and it was because I was saving periodically, I think. And I've looked online and there was a forum now. I could put the link to the forum as well, about if you save it knocks it back down to 10% of the Bloodlust. So just to make sure we've got it, we don't save, we set up all that stuff. It's like the least amount of effort, leave it for 24 hours, and then the trophy will pop, and you'll have the overly emotional one as well, which is sort of like a side effect, if you like. The only other thing I would say is that I've been stealing off everything. You get a broadsword off the second sort of baskety fruit plant thing, and you get an iron helm off the plant brain, which is important because it's got level up for Steiner on there. And as I was leaving it on for 24 hours, I made sure that he had that on him, and then we could get that ability. The only other thing I would suggest about sort of this area is that when you're coming down the path and the plants are coming at you, don't walk too far ahead or you'll fall down, and then they don't hit you anymore. You've got another 2 down the bottom of the valley, if you like, but you're not getting the same amount of enemies hitting you every couple of seconds, so that's the only other sort of thing. So we're just going to hit the plant brain, we're going to steal the iron helm, and then I'll just show you where I start the Bloodlust trophy. It's kind of good to get it away at the beginning of the game, because there is a trophy to get to level 99, so this really helps for that. Also, you get tons of money, and there's only one place in the game that you need to be poor, and that is in Limblum later on, and that's to do with the ACEs. You've got to have less than 100 gil in your pocket in Limblum. I think it might be disc 2 or 3, but I'll highlight that when we get there. To trigger, I think it's about 3 or 4 ACEs that it triggers. So this is where I've got to for the Bloodlust. As you can see, I've just gone down the path slightly, and that is literally to just make sure I've got the equipment on. You've got a couple of, maybe like half a second there to press the triangle button to go into the menu before another one hits you. Like I said, the only downside is the battle assistance, but because we're level 1, we're going to get murdered instantly if we don't do that. So that is why that is important to put that on, and you're, you know, virtually immortal. So the next bit will be on the world map before we do the ice cavern, and there's a couple of things we can do on the world map before we go into ice cavern, and I'll do that. I might make it part of the ice cavern video. There's not a lot you can miss in the ice cavern, but I'll just cover it anyway, just so it's a complete record. So yeah, definitive guide 4 in the bank.